Hi everyone and welcome back to Enchanted Reiki. I'm Angel and today I'm going to be talking about what is Reiki, and this is a really difficult topic to cover because Reiki is everything yet it can't be defined. So let's start right from the top. Let's just assume that you have no idea what Reiki is. You've stumbled across this video and you're like, what is Reiki? So on a very basic level, Reiki is a palm healing, energy healing modality. The Reiki practitioner or the Reiki Master, if they've studied up to that level, puts their hands onto the recipient or onto the client or patient and intends for the recipient to receive this healing Reiki energy. And the intention is that once the treatment is done, the person will either feel emotionally, mentally, or physically better. Now, it's important to know that the Reiki Master or Reiki practitioner isn't, sometimes we're called Reiki healers. I don't like that term because I don't see myself as a healer. I see myself as someone who's holding space in order for the recipient to be able to then heal themselves. That's the intention with Reiki. That's what I think the intention is. I'm there, I'm holding space, I'm putting them in a relaxed state. Many people fall asleep during Reiki, or at the very least will go into a very deep theta state where they're like in that place where they're almost dreaming. It's very, very common to happen. It's quite rare that it doesn't. And so in that state, they're more suggestible. And before a treatment, I will say to the recipient, I'm not nosy, I don't ask them what's going on, what are your emotional problems, what are your physical problems. I might say, is there an area you'd like me to work on? But I don't go into detail. And before a treatment, I will always say, if you would like to set the intention to heal whatever it is that you've come here for, or to get the most out of this treatment, then please do so. Set that intention before we start. The point is, I'm holding the space and they're doing the healing. I'm there just to help them and to I can't think of the word now, facilitate what's going on. I'm there to facilitate the healing, and that is my role as the Reiki practitioner. But very simply put, Reiki is a palm healing, energy healing modality that heals not just the physical body, but the bodies around us as well, the whole aura, because we've got many layers of bodies. So the founder of modern Reiki is Mikao Usui, and he discovered and systemized Reiki back in 1920, so 100 years now. And before this, palm healing was already very, very popular technique to do. Jesus used palm healing when he touched people and they healed. He was just obviously much better than most of us are today. And so Mikao Usui discovered that he had the ability to do this as well. He was actually very good as well. And so he managed to come up with a system in order to pass this knowledge on to students, and he trained, I think it was 21 or 22 students, I don't remember exactly. No, sorry, that's up to master level. He trained over 1,000 students, but I think it was 21 up to master level. And these people then taught further people, and most Reiki practitioners today will be able to trace their lineage back to Mikao Usui, and there's not usually going to be like, there won't be 30 or 40 masters in between, because this is only 100 years ago. So I believe my lineage, I'm only like 8 down. I've got 2 lines of lineage. But so Mikao Usui discovered Reiki, and when we say discovered, you know, he didn't invent Reiki, he didn't invent energy. He just made it into the system of Reiki that we call Reiki today. Now, the word Reiki, there are 2 ways to explain the word Reiki. So Reiki comes from 2 different Japanese words, 2 different kanjis. Rei means universal or divine, and ki is energy. In Chinese, people would pronounce it chi, so some people may have heard of that. And it's exactly the same thing. So Reiki together is universal life force energy. That's Reiki with the lowercase r. Reiki with the capital R, when you see it written like that, it describes the system that Mikao Usui created. Same word, basically mean the same thing really, but Reiki is universal life force energy. It's the energy that every single thing is made up of. Everything. There are no blank spaces anywhere. I mean, it looks like there's loads of space here, but I'm putting my hand through energy right now. The air is energy. Everything is energy. The thing with Reiki is that you can ask 10 Reiki masters how to define Reiki, what Reiki means to them, and they're going to give you a different answer. The Buddhist will say that Reiki is a path to enlightenment. A Christian will say that Reiki is a manifestation of the Holy Spirit. And this is true. There are many Christian Reiki practitioners. Don't believe what you see on the internet. I know many, and I've actually written a blog post about it, which I'll link in the info bar below if you're interested to read more about that. And you know, the pantheist will say that Reiki is just energy, it's just everything. So ask 10 masters, get 10 different answers. There is no right or wrong answer, because like I said, Reiki is energy that we're all made up of. So therefore Reiki is absolutely everything and anything that you want it to be. It's important to note as well that if we think of this from a quantum physics perspective, as you get smaller and smaller, you know, you cut everything, the atom, everything down, eventually you'll get to a point where everything is the same. Nothing is distinguishable anymore. So every piece of energy, I don't even know how to describe it. Piece sounds like such a big thing, but every tiny bit of energy, when you break it down, it becomes indistinguishable from everything else. It's all the same, it's all one. And this is true of inanimate objects and humans and animals and tree life and plants and everything, the rock, the earth. Everything is literally made of exactly the same thing. So if we know this, then we can eliminate the illusion that everything is separate from us, because we're actually all made up of exactly the same thing. So with this knowledge that we're all made up of the exact same energy, when some Reiki masters say, okay, now connect to Reiki, you know, they'll say that before you give yourself a self-treatment or in a Reiki share before you start partaking in the Reiki share, they'll say connect to Reiki. And this is fine, you know, this is I guess a language that you can use to say, okay, get ready now because we're about to perform some Reiki. And there's nothing wrong with using this language, except if you think that you are connecting to some outside force, a force that's not within you already, then there's going to be a problem. So I do use the language connect to Reiki, give thanks to Reiki when you're done, but I make it very clear to my students and the practitioners that come to my Reiki shares, I make it very clear that Reiki is not outside you. Some people like to say that we are the conduit for Reiki. Again, you can say this. Sometimes I teach this in Reiki 1 and Reiki 2 just because it makes it a little bit more simple and easier for people to understand and digest. However, at the end of the day, this is not necessarily the truth. And I have written down here what I like to say to, and I give this to the Reiki masters because before that level, if you explain this, it can get a little bit complicated because they're inundated with so much information. However, I'm hoping that this will make sense to whoever's watching this, even if you don't practice Reiki, but you're just here to see what Reiki is about. So I'm just going to read out a small paragraph that I write in my my master's handbook. So it says, connecting to Reiki is a term masters use when they ask students or practitioners to tune in because the language is accessible and easily understandable. What in fact we should be saying is, please set your intention to transform the energy around and within you in such a way that its vibration changes for the purpose of healing, and you are able to manipulate and concentrate it to flow out through your hands and into the auric field and physical body of the person before you. So that's how I personally would explain what Reiki is and what we are doing as practitioners and masters when we are giving a treatment to either ourselves or to a recipient. I don't see it as me being a conduit and then like this holy energy comes in through the top of my body and fills up my body and then, you know, passes itself out through my hands. I don't see it that way. I see me as changing my vibration to match a healing vibration, and therefore if my energy and my vibration is changed to a higher state, one of healing, then everything around me is going to change like that as well. And energy can be changed and manipulated, and we know this from science. This is the one thing that they do teach you at school. They teach you that energy can't be destroyed, it can only be changed or transformed. And so I'm transforming the energy around me and I'm concentrating it so that I can actually manipulate it and push it out through my hands. You can do this through your breath and through your eyes, another technique that we teach in Reiki Master level, even through your feet, even just by standing next to someone. When you get to a certain level, I know a Reiki Master, a good friend of mine, we train together, and you stand next to him and you can feel the Reiki coming off him. He's not even intending to connect to Reiki, he's just always connected. And that's the thing to remember, we're always connected to Reiki. Reiki is just a beautiful healing energy. The difference between, in my opinion, the difference between general energy, just energy in general, and Reiki energy is that you have chosen to change the energy around you, and then it becomes this high vibration that we then call Reiki. Any energy can become Reiki. I can become Reiki. The energy in my aura can become Reiki if I intend it to. Okay, the mind is extremely powerful, and that's what we're doing. And it takes practice, and that's why it's so important. If you are a Reiki practitioner, whether you're level 1 or you've been a master for 20 years, it's so important to practice Reiki every day, even if you're not doing a self-treatment on yourself, to at least use it on your food, on your children, or just like throw down a symbol on whatever it is, you know, just use it every single day. So I hope that this video has been somewhat useful in explaining Reiki. Like I said, Reiki is one of those things that you just really cannot explain. But if you're looking for what it can do for you, if you're interested in becoming a Reiki practitioner yourself, there are 3 levels. I'm going to go more into the levels and what you would need to learn and everything for Reiki in another video. But just closing off this video, there are 3 levels, and when you go into Reiki you get an attunement, which is when the master tunes you in to the vibration of Reiki. And personally I believe that anyone can do this without an attunement, and that's something that I will be teaching on this channel as well in a few weeks. But when the Reiki master does it, it's like they just find that frequency for you, and there it is, it's right there. It's so simple. They just give you a couple of attunements and all of a sudden you're able to tap into this energy. And I'm not even sure if tap in is the right term, because it's always there, but it's more manipulating the energy around you to become Reiki, to become healing energy. And learning to become a Reiki practitioner is amazing, because you can use it on yourself to alleviate migraines, aches and pains, heartache, stress, anxiety. If you just take some time, it's like when you give a self-treatment to yourself, you're basically meditating, but you're also using Reiki on yourself as well. And you can use it on other people. Even at Reiki 1 level, you can use it on other people. And it really is a beautiful practice. And it's important to remember that Reiki is actually a way of life as well. Along with learning to heal, you also, or hold space so that people can heal themselves, you also learn other things like the Reiki principles and you know, meditation techniques, breathing techniques. It really is a whole way of life. It's not a religion, it's a way of life. Like I said, there are Buddhist Reiki practitioners, there are Christian Reiki practitioners, there are Muslim Reiki practitioners. I myself identify as either an omnist or pagan, a little bit of everything really. And yeah, so that I hope sums up Reiki somewhat. I'm not entirely sure how clear that was or how useful that's going to be to anyone, but I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like the video. This is a new channel, so it'd be great if you could like the video, get that algorithm going so that people discover this channel, and please subscribe and make sure you hit the notification bell, and I will see you very shortly for my next video. Bye!